Alright, so we are back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about what the Part 2 LRs for Worldwide Download Celebration 2023 could look like. Now we're going to be going over everything in this video, their leader skills, their super attack effects, their passives, obviously what units they're going to be, all that. So there are a couple things this video is kind of under the impression of, so obviously we're assuming the Part 2 LRs are going to be a Sword of Hope Trunks and an LR Goku Black. Also we're assuming they're both going to be Carnival LRs. It's possible maybe they want to make them Dokkan Festival LRs, maybe they want to make them Yellow Coin LRs. I really feel like that wouldn't make any sense because for 8th year anniversary, we got, the Dokkan Fest for Part 1 and then the Carnival LRs for Part 2. And it's very obvious that's kind of the format they're going for. But keep in mind, there is a possibility the Part 2 LRs could be Dokkan Fest, which I'm not complaining. If that's how it is, that just means the banners are going to be better. That means the leader skills are going to be better. So that would be good overall, at least in my opinion. But again, they're probably not going to do that. They're most likely going to be Carnival LRs, so this video is under the impression of that. And also, before you guys ask, I do want to just quickly mention, these guys should be releasing the 15th of September, so in about 10 days, basically. It's possible they don't want to make it the exact same release date as the previous Worldwide Download Celebration for the Part 2 LRs. Maybe they want to make it the 14th of September, maybe they want to make it the 16th, maybe they want to be really nice, release the Part 2 LRs like the 12th or 13th. But just keep in mind, it's going to be around the 15th that we get the Part 2 LRs. And also, one other thing before we get into it. This is my first time building units. So if you don't like their design, if you think they're too good or they're too bad, my apologies. Again, this is the first time I've done this. So let me know in the comments if you want to see this going forward in future celebrations. And yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and get right into it. So first off, we have Sword of Hope Trunks. Now, I did decide to make him STR because I think we only have one Carnival LR that's the STR type, and that is the Super Saiyan Goku. So it would make sense for us to get another STR Carnival LR. And then his leader skill is Future Saga category Ki plus 3, HP and attack and defense plus 200%. Now, obviously, the main theme of this celebration, or main category that they're kind of focusing on, is Future Saga. So it would make sense for us to get another lead for Future Saga in this celebration, because the Super Saiyan Blue Goku Vegeta does lead Future Saga, but this guy leading it just for a straight 200% to, HP attack and defense is a little bit better. So it would make sense for us to get this guy as, like, the definite, like, best Future Saga lead, right? And then his super attack effect on his 12 key is that he raises defense, then raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy. His 18 key is basically the exact same thing, but he's doing mega colossal damage to enemy. So I did want him to stack defense, because I was kind of going for more of a slot 1 option with this unit. And obviously the best way to make someone good in slot 1 is make them stack defense, because then their defense just gets higher and higher throughout the fight. And typically units who stack defense age better than units that don't stack defense. So it's just a good mechanic for this guy to have, makes him a little bit better. And then his passive is that he activates the entrance animation once only, and then reduces damage received by 15% if there's an enemy whose name includes Zamasu, or if there's another Future Saga category ally attacking in the same turn. So if this is what his entrance animation is going to be, it's probably going to be a little bit different. It's most likely going to be when there's an enemy whose name includes Zamasu, Goku Black, or Fusion Zamasu, because when he was in like the Sword of Hope Trunks mode or whatever, he was fighting Fusion Zamasu. So it wouldn't make sense for like the restriction for the enemy to be just Zamasu. So just keep that in mind. This is probably a little mistake on my end. It's most likely going to be a Goku Black Zamasu or Fusion Zamasu, not just specifically Zamasu. And then also the other restriction is when there's a Future Saga category ally attacking in the same turn. They probably wouldn't make it that easy. It's most likely when there's a full Future Saga rotation, or hell, even when there's a full Future Saga team, then you can get this intro buff, because he does lead Future Saga, so it would make sense for you to want to run him with Future Saga units. And then I guess at this point we could just go over his whole passive, and then we'll go through it once we're done and like break it all down. So he starts off with 3 key, 100% attack and defense. He guards all attacks for 4 turns from start of turn, and then he reduces damage received by 15% as the first attacker in a turn. And then he gets 30% attack and defense with every attack received up to 90%. And then after he receives an attack, he launches an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super. And then he gets 10% attack and defense per key sphere obtained. And then he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. So first off, we've got the 3 key and 100% attack and defense buff. I decided giving him like a little bit of key start of turn would be good. This guy doesn't need to get his 18 key super, so it's not really essential that this guy gets key. But I figured, a little key on an LR is always nice. But again, his 12 key and 18 key are the exact same. So it really doesn't matter if you get the 18 key super with him. You're just doing a little bit of extra damage. And then he starts off with 100% attack and defense. That might seem a little low to you, but you do have to keep in mind, he's getting a lot of other attack and defense buffs in his kit. He's infinitely stacking defense. He's getting 30% attack for 1 turn. He's got the attack and defense here. He's got the attack and defense here. He's starting off with the attack and defense buff. He's got damage reduction. He's got guard. So there's a lot of other mechanics in his kit that make this good. But just keep in mind, I mean, this is a little low, but again, there's other things in his kit that make up for this low attack and defense stat. And then he gets guaranteed guard for 4 turns from start of turn. So the main reason I wanted to give him guard was to not give him the same issues as this Tech Trunks right here. Because as most of you know, with his EZA, look, he was good, but for the first, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7 turns, his defense really isn't that great because you have to stack up with him. So I wanted to make sure this guy didn't have the same issues as him, so I gave him guard for the first couple turns, so then he has the ability to stack up, and then when you lose the guard, you've stacked up, so then your defense is still good. And then keep in mind, he still has the damage reduction, like, in his kit, which, yeah, right here, actually, he reduces damage received by 15% as the first attacker in a turn, so that solidifies he is kind of like a slot 1 unit. So then you throw him in slot 1, you get 15% damage reduction. If you have the intro animation activated, then you get another 15% damage reduction. So that's 30% damage reduction, guard, and he's stacking defense. And then right here, as we're about to mention, he gets 30% attack and defense with every attack received, up to 90%. So he's also building up defense. And keep in mind, this build-up isn't that difficult. I know a lot of people see this and they're like, oh, it's with every attack received, so it's going to be really difficult to get. No, you literally just have to throw him in slot 1, receive 3 attacks, and then you're good. And for the first couple turns, throwing him in slot 1 is going to be very easy because he's got this guard. He also has the 30% damage reduction in slot 1. So between those two things, even the first turn you see him, you know, his defense isn't going to be that crazy because he hasn't stacked at all. But you can still just throw him in slot 1, you receive the 3 attacks, and then you build up this 90% attack and defense. So then after that, his stats are going to look a lot better. And then between that and him stacking, yeah, his stats are going to get really crazy really quick. And then after he receives an attack, he launches an additional that has a high chance of becoming a super. So I wanted to give him additionals because obviously he is stacking defense, so the more additionals the better. You've got the potential to now triple super with him if you go full additionals, which from this build, I would say, I don't know, maybe a mix of additionals and dodge is probably the best for him. If you want to give him a little crit as well, I can't really blame you because he's going to be doing a lot of damage with all the additionals once you get this built up. And then between him getting 30% attack on every super he does, I mean, critting on those supers definitely would be nice, but I would say, like, dodge and additionals would be best for this guy. God, I'm talking about him like he's an actual unit. Anyway, so yeah, he gets the additional after he receives an attack. Once again, solidifying he is a slot 1 unit. And then he gets 10% attack and defense per key sphere obtained. I mean, I really only threw this in his kit because the only other Sword of Hope Trunks we have in the game gets attack and defense per key sphere obtained, so I figured it would make sense for them to carry it over. So I decided to just give him that. I didn't want to make it too crazy because, again, he's got the guard damage reduction. He already has a lot of attack and defense. He's stacking. But I did want to give him a little buff right here. So I feel like 10% attack and defense per key sphere obtained is pretty balanced. And then he also is Rainbow Orb changing. So a very, very good lead. He's a slot 1 option. He's Rainbow Orb changing, which helps out the whole team. But then he does also need the Rainbow Orbs because, you know, this right here. Well, he doesn't specifically need the Rainbow Orbs, but he needs as many orbs as possible. And he is a slot 1 option, so then running 2 of them on the team is definitely possible. You know, you bring him as your lead, and then you bring him as a friend lead. You throw them both in slot 1 on each rotation, and then he's going to be cooking. So I think this guy's a very good unit. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking of him. I think just a definite 200% to Future Saga would be nice because, again, that's what the celebration is based around. So getting this guy as the best lead for Future Saga, I feel like would make the most sense. Now, I guess there is a possibility he has a standby into the Sword of Hope Trunks mode or whatever. I didn't design him like that, but keep in mind, they might want to do that with the actual unit. So moving on to the next LR, we've got the Goku Black. So there is a transformation with this guy. I've got the domain right here. But first we'll go over the Goku Black and then we'll go over the domain. Now look, one thing I want to point out. I know you see he's physical. You're like, oh my god, they're going to give him the physical sand treatment. He's going to be the next Raditz. No, trust me. I made him physical because there's not that many great physical units because I guess typically they do fumble a lot of physical units. But don't worry about it. It's okay. They're going to break the cycle with this one. So his leader skill is Inhuman Deeds category Ki +3, HP attack and defense plus 200%. You want to see something crazy? Wait, let me pull this up really quick. Yeah, Inhuman Deeds right here. I was doing a video the other day. Dude, what the hell is this? The best lead for Inhuman Deeds is this guy. And he leads it for 150%. Like, what? I don't know what they're thinking with this one. Definitely very, very weird that Inhuman Deeds doesn't have a good lead. I would say the only chance this guy doesn't lead Inhuman Deeds, the new Goku Black, assuming we do get one, is maybe if they want to save somebody leading Inhuman Deeds for like a Dokkan Fest baby. But other than that, this guy has to lead Inhuman Deeds because that category, I mean, the category sucks, but like it sucks with the leader too. And with most categories, I mean, the leader pretty much makes the category. So yeah, we definitely need a new lead for that category. So I think a new Goku Black leading Inhuman Deeds for just a straight 200% buff would be very good. His 12 key is that he greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy. 18 key is that he greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns, and then causes mega colossal damage to enemy. And then his passive is that he gets attack and defense plus 250%. He launches 2 additional attacks, each of which have a high chance of becoming a super. And then he gets an additional 50% attack and defense when performing a super attack. He has a medium chance of performing a crit. He recovers 10% HP at the end of a turn in which an attack was received. He gets 1 key with every attack performed up to 6. And then he's supporting extreme class allies for 1 key, and then 30% attack and defense. So you'll notice with this guy, I didn't give him guard, I didn't give him damage reduction, I didn't give him dodge. I wanted to design him a little bit different than your average good unit. I wanted to make him a little bit more unique. But I think this guy's still going to be very good. So he's got 250% to stats. For a Carnival LR who's got Carnival LR stats, this percentage buff right here is going to be very, very good. And then also, he launches 2 additional attacks, each have a high chance of becoming a super just for free. Even 55%, he's still going to be doing these, obviously. And because he's getting so much defense on his super attack effects, that's going to be very, very good. So in slot 2, already this guy's going to be godly. And you do have to keep in mind, this guy's carrying over 50% defense into the next turn, as long as you keep him on one of your main rotations. So just keep that in mind too. His start of turn defensive stat is going to get pretty good once you get this super attack going. And then also, he gets the 50% attack and defense when performing a super. So he's going to get all the 50% attack and defense buffs from his actual super attack effects. And then also, he's getting 50% attack and defense from his passive when performing a super. So again, in slot 2, this guy's going to be godly. He has that medium chance to crit. So then with all these supers, if you start critting with them, they're going to start to do a lot of damage. He's recovering 10% HP at the end of a turn in which an attack was received. I mean, it's pretty nice recovering some HP. It's nothing crazy, but 10% is still good. If you throw him in slot 2, you receive an attack. You know, an extra 10% HP definitely is pretty solid. And then he also builds up 1 key with every attack performed up to 6. So I did decide to give him that because unlike the Trunks, this guy's 18 key super attack is a lot better than his 12 key. Again, he's carrying over 50% attack and defense into the next turn. So you are going to want to target that 18 key super. And then building up this 6 key, you'll definitely be able to get to the 18 key super very easy. He does get 1 key though, so it's going to take a little bit to build up. You know, it's with every attack performed. But keep in mind, this guy's doing at least 3 attacks every rotation. So if you get to do all this guy's attacks and you don't just kill the enemy, it's only going to take 2 rotations to actually have this fully built up. And then he's also supporting extreme class allies for 1 key and then 30% attack and defense. The only reason I decided to make this guy a support is because his teams suck. I mean, look, Inhuman Deeds is horrible. He's on stuff like Corroded Body and Mind. He's on stuff like Exploding Rage, Worldwide Chaos. I guess Worldwide Chaos isn't horrible now, but a lot of these teams he's on are bad because, you know, these extreme class units get so neglected. So I figured making him an extreme class support would be pretty good because then it just makes him more valuable on these extreme class teams. And then, yeah, he does have the domain, like I mentioned earlier. So I based the domain heavily off of the new Merge Zamasu that we got because obviously he's literally the only domain unit we have currently in the game. So if he feels very similar to him, you know, I'm sorry, there's nothing I could have really done. I wanted to make him very similar to him because I don't really know how they're going to design domain units. So again, I kind of based the design off of this guy right here. So the condition for it is the exact same as Zamasu's. It's just when HP is 70% or less starting from the 5th turn from start of turn. And then when you do go into the domain, I think I made him pretty busted. So his 12 key is that he raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemy. His 18 key is that he greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to enemy. And then his passive is that he changes all key spheres to physical key spheres once only. So that's the same thing that the physical transforming Vegeta has. He just gets that 1 turn of guaranteed just full changing the field to physical key spheres, which is going to be very good considering some of the key restrictions this guy has. And then he nullifies all attacks directed at the character. Now, I don't know if this is something they're going to do with all domain units, but this is something the Zamasu has, or when you go into the Infinite Zamasu, then he is nullifying all attacks at the character, so he's taking no damage whatsoever. It's kind of weird they have to specify this, so the fact that it is specified does tell me that some domain units probably aren't going to have this, so then they are going to be able to actually take damage. But I don't know, I think maybe they'll want to keep this with the Zamasu, because of course, you know, not taking any damage makes him very good just off the bat. And then he gets 200% attack. He gets an additional 100% attack when collecting 3 key spheres. I guess technically it's going to be type key spheres, because you do have to specify whether rainbow key spheres would count. So another mistake on my end. It would be when collecting 3 type key spheres, and then he gets another 100% attack when collecting 5 type key spheres, and then another 100% attack when collecting 8 type key spheres. So yeah, in total, this guy's going to be getting, what, 500% attack? So yeah, between him greatly raising attack for 1 turn and then raising attack for 1 turn on his super attack effects, and then also having 500% attack, and then getting this 1 turn of guaranteed physical orb changing, and then not taking any damage whatsoever, I don't know, man. I think this guy's going to be pretty crazy. And also, I made it the, like, clone Zamasu thing. I know a lot of people want to see this in the game, so figured it'd be a good way to add it. Hopefully, we get this as, like, a free-to-play team as well. Just throwing that out there. So, that's pretty much it for the design of the Zamasu. Let me know what you guys are thinking of this guy down in the comments. Again, I went for more of a unique design for him. I didn't want to make him your average unit that's just guarding so that he's instantly useful. I wanted to make him, again, a little bit more unique. You know, he's really good for slot 2, but in slot 1, he probably will still be pretty useful because he's getting some pretty good defense start of turn once you start to get this 18-key super attack into effect. He's also support, so he's going to be very useful pretty much on any extreme class team. And then also he's building up key, so his 18 key is going to be very, like, easy to get. He's recovering HP. He's got that medium chance to crit, so his damage is going to be really good. He gets all this defense on super, so then his defense is going to look really good. And then also he's got the domain, which just makes him insane. So that's pretty much been the video. Let me know what you guys are thinking of both of these units, and let me know how you would change them down in the comments, or if you think they're perfect as they are. Again, this is my first time doing anything like this, so if I made them not good enough or way too good, you know, my bad. But I guess let me know in the comments as well about that. So once again, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.